Hey there. Here with my son Matt, and off camera there is my daughter Cassie. Say hi, Cass.
Hi, Cass.
Yeah. So it's after 2, and actually it is now about 2:24, and we just
Exactly.
finished watching uh, the WrestleMania Hall of Fame
I
inductions.
think we turned it on
ceremony.
at 10:30. That should be an indicator on how long
Yeah. So
it's been
it's been a
watching
while.
this. And
We're gonna go through it one by one. I've been on.
first thing we got to talk about is our mother, though.
Oh, yes, I got that. We'll do that after. But I haven't been online a lot today. I'm here with my kids. We've been playing Call of Duty, Infamous, and Injustice on the PS4, and just having a
grand old time.
fun weekend. So, guys, so the ceremony. We'll go one by one.
Yeah, we'll go
We
on
started with Lita, who started off. She did right.
She did. She started off. She was the first one out there. And
we learned a lot with Lita.
Yeah, no, we learned everything about Lita. She did not spare any detail.
I thought she looked great.
She does look great. I myself think that, I don't know, there's other people that could have been inducted. I guess, like, Lita's a really good wrestler.
I think she's good in the case.
I don't know. Like,
What do you think of Lita, Cass?
She's cool.
She's cool. There's
I don't know.
That's weird.
There's some other like people that I feel some like. If we're
Lita was a trailblazer,
if we're getting to Jake the Snake this late, then I'm sure there's other people that could have taken up that spot.
No. I like Lita. Lita's a good induction. There's a female induction this time around.
Yeah.
And it was a good one.
And now at least I know I don't even need to pick up a Lita documentary if they have one, because I know everything.
Anyway, next.
Who's next?
I like the Lita speech. I gotta say, it was long, but I liked it.
Who was after Lita? It was Jake the Snake. God, how
Yep.
can I forget
Jake
that?
the Snake was my favorite speech of the night.
His was the best speech of the night.
It was touching,
It got really dark, really fast,
and
but it was uplifting in the end. It was great. It was sad. I was honestly, for a moment there, like, welling up with all the tears as he talked about how how hard his life was and how his love of wrestling destroyed his family life and his like relationship with his family. How he didn't want to lie to his family anymore, and he didn't want to be like his father, who was doing the exact same thing. And I was like,
you could see the pain at the end of the speech on his family's faces.
not on his face as well.
And some resentment, actually,
Yeah.
from what wrestling had taken from them. This was a
Yeah.
bittersweet night for them, but it was a night to honor their dad for what he'd done. But
Yeah.
in a way, it was a night to honor their dad for what he'd done and what was taken away from them. So it was a hard night, but it was a good speech. And I gotta say,
It's probably the
DDP's
best.
induction speech was actually incredible.
Yeah,
as well.
it was fun. It was fun and heartwarming. See, from here it goes down. That was the best. That should have been the last one. You'd think Jake the Snake Robert. He's a big name. He should be headlining this.
Jake Snake.
He was the best speech. When he said it, he really meant it. And it may have been full of jokes and fun at the first part, but in the end, he really took it out with, like, no matter how hard it gets, there's always someone, always something there to tell you, just keep going, because life is worth living.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Next up
as
is
I said,
Mr. T. Mr. T was
Mr. T.
who was by the way, is in the news right now for having his supposedly illegitimate son.
Suing him.
Kind of suing him for money.
But
Now,
as
first
he
off,
tells us,
Mr. T is inducted first by Gene Okerlund, and then by his son T Jr. And is that really his name? Is his name really T Jr.?
That's all we could find on him.
I don't know. I hope it is, because that's hilarious.
Abbreviation would be TJR.
TJR.
TJR. You know, do you want to talk about mothers? Because Mr. T vigorously wants to talk about mothers. He is into the topic of mothers. Also
Wait,
Jesus, but mostly mothers.
How long do you think this speech was?
Long enough that it was the only one to get cut off.
Okay, they cut it off bad.
That was a bad cutoff.
Yeah, it was really insensitive.
It was really he was touched by being on it. Probably a lot more so than a lot of people that were out there. And he went on too long, and he talked a lot about his mom and for a long time. And I cannot stress how long he talked about his mom.
He literally, the entire speech was, my mother, this was what my mother did. I came from my mother's womb, my mother's waistline. Mom, this is from the Bible, as Jesus said, a prayer.
And then he talks about
my mother again.
Starts to talk about his family, he talks about his brothers and stuff, which is really nice.
It is.
And then he gets cut off.
He gets cut off by Kane, who has to do the next one.
And it's sad because Mr. T is, and has been for a long time, he's been a positive role model.
Yes.
And for his community, for kids and stuff like that. And he's never been like a guy that's to put out negativity. And in that speech, he didn't say anything negative. And there would be some negative speech later on that night that will go on and on and on. And we'll get to that. But as much as I was like wanting that speech to end, I definitely didn't want it to end that way, and I think it was pretty classless of the WWE to do it like that. Now, the next speech that came up was
very
for William Moody. And William Moody, of course, is the guy that played the Undertaker's manager.
As you all know him, Mr. X.
Yeah, exactly. Paul Bear, or Percival Pringle for us older wrestling fans. And Paul Bear's speech was done by Kane. Of course, Paul Bear passed away, and it was not long. It was just right.
I didn't know that he passed away so recently, actually, until Kane says it.
I love that his sons came out. I love that one of his sons did a spot-on impression of the Paul Bear character. Of the Oh My thing, which I'm not going to do right now. I can actually kind of do a decent Paul Bear, but not right now.
I can't do that.
But after that, we got to see Scott Hall come out. And it was great to see Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, Chico. It was great to see him being.
I don't remember his being that long either.
His wasn't that long.
It wasn't.
It was to the point. The new
Kevin Nash's introduction to him was actually a bit longer than his was, I think.
He actually had all his friends come out and congratulate him. As we all know that are wrestling fans, Scott Hall had a hard time. Scott Hall has been a guy that's had a problem with alcohol over the years, and he's come back so many times. And Cass, what are your thoughts on Scott Hall. On Scott Hall.
On Scott Hall
and
Scott Hall was
Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon. Kevin Nash came in for him.
Oh.
And Mr. T.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
Sorry,
what do you think of Mr. T?
Unfortunately, before Mr. T, I had fallen asleep and then woken up, so I was completely energized to listen to all of Mr. T.
Okay.
Although, when he did get cut off, was really bad.
Yeah, it
but
made me...
in WWE's defense, he had mentioned the thing about his only son, like
yes, he had. He mentioned a little reference to a court case that, like, clearly, I'm gonna guess they didn't want to get involved with either. So
yeah, he's in the middle of a court case, and probably the only son thing was a little bit of a sensitive thing to say right now. But still, I don't think it was enough to cut him off, though.
I know, but he also got really religious.
He never said a thing about wrestling
either.
either.
Got religious. I mean, like Jake the Snake Roberts, to a certain degree, got religious, and
yeah,
even talked to a DDP yoga
no,
tonight.
but I mean, like, did Jake the Snake talk about how Jesus was holding his mother?
Yeah,
like his mother's womb.
Gotta give her credit.
Yeah.
We gotta move on to.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Who was next? Just Scott Hall, and after Scott, Carlos Collins, right?
Thank you. And I didn't remember his name.
He is the father, of course, of Carlito.
Yeah.
And Carlito got the probably the best of the night.
Yeah.
With these little digs at the WWE. Since he doesn't work there anymore, he could say what he wanted to, and you could see it, and it was a little refreshing after all of stuff that was kind of pretty rehearsed.
It was fun. I'd love to talk about what's his name? I forgot his name already. The guy.
What do you think about Carlos Collins?
What?
Carlos Collins. You know the.
His the guys.
I'd love to say more about him, but he spoke mostly in Spanish, like honoring people,
Which
was cool. It was cool. It was nice. It was a bit long-winded, but it was unlike Mr. T's speech. It was heartfelt, and you knew he like meant everything, and it had to do with wrestling. That is a wrestling.
He is a wrestling legend.
Yeah.
Another reason to cover.
Now, last up was the one that everybody was waiting for.
Yeah.
My better half actually came downstairs to watch this because of that.
Yeah.
And it was the Ultimate Warrior.
His name is Warrior.
It's just Warrior.
Like everyone else we can say something for, other than Canada. I don't know what his real name is.
Glenn Jacobs is his real name.
Glenn Jacobs, alright. See, he at least has a real name. This one's Warrior.
That's his real name.
Warrior came out.
Jim Hellwig exists no more, just Warrior now.
Only Warrior.
He comes out with his daughters, which is really nice. And he starts off the speech talking about the fact that he's not allowed, he's not allowed to talk about this self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior DVD.
Not a word. No.
He's not going to be talking about that tonight.
Thing.
Then he proceeds to spend the rest of his speech almost exclusively talking about the DVD that he's not supposed to be talking about.
Oh, but there's more, because not only does he say things along the lines of, don't let them, don't let them reprogram your mind with all their lies and mischaracterizations. But he also gets to say things like, I remember when, back in the day, all the people were complaining about checks that just weren't coming.
And he keeps talking about
and
paychecks
are just, like, not arriving.
How people would go in there and they'd come out with bobbleheads.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
Like, did he not pay them, then beat them up? I don't know.
No, you said you wanted a gif of
Oh yeah, I want a gif of him doing the bobblehead thing. It was like,
yeah, that would be awesome.
Then he goes on to talk about that.
His gear bag.
His gear bag, the WWE, because he's
the WWE gave him a gear bag.
Every 10 minutes is, now I want to say something. And then immediately, WWE is great. By the way, the DVD I shouldn't talk about.
His speech had more endings than Lord of the Rings.
It did. It was, it was big. And there's a moment, I thought he was about to say something, because he says Vince McMahon several times, and it sounded like it's about to be a compliment, and then it's like it's a weird place. Yeah,
You're talking about the letter thing?
Yeah, the letter thing. But just before he goes to the letter thing, he's like, wait, I forgot something. And he takes out, like,
a check,
and he's like,
check.
Like a thing, and he's like, I hope this doesn't bounce. And I'm like,
that's supposed to be a check from back when he did his last WrestleMania or something, or last event.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you don't
cash
really,
it
like,
I'm like, cash it yet?
I'm like, I don't,
he got in his word craziness.
I don't want you just said you had a new, like, multi-year, million, like, big
contract. Don't mess it up, Warrior.
Don't screw it up. And then he immediately goes on to say that, Vince McMahon told him back in the day that he was a legend in his own mind.
Okay, there we go.
But he must have been a prophet reader.
Like the WWE, I have to wrap
he
this
is
up.
A legend.
Okay, final thoughts, guys. Well, we got 30
Jake
seconds.
the Snake Roberts was the best reason to watch that. He was the only reason to watch that. Everyone else was either pretty boring, okay, to like his stuff, like especially Paul Bearer and that. But, like, mostly just, like, yeah, they're being inducted in the Hall of Fame. It's great. And then awful.
Jake the Snake was definitely the best, but if I could describe the whole thing in one word,
yeah,
long.
That's really long. I like Lita. I'm a big fan of Lita's. Jake Snake definitely was the best. Scott Hall, I think, did a fantastic job, too. He managed to keep it short, but keep it heartfelt. Yeah. Glenn Jacobs, Kane, did a great job inducting William Moody. Yeah. Mr. T, it was like a train wreck to watch. I felt really bad. It's one of those things you feel bad watching. And Ultimate Warrior was hilarious. Thanks for watching, guys. And unlike Ultimate Warrior, I'm not going to go on too long. I'm going to just finish this up here and go grab some caffeine, because it is time for tea.
Mother.